And we are back. The Diamond K Show here on radioonfire.com. Of course, Radio on Fire Studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. And I want to welcome everybody back to the show. Interesting weekend that has been transpiring. But I want to talk a little bit about Monique, one of Baltimore's own, Monique. Nikki also in the building. How you doing?
I'm good.
So, do you like Monique?
No.
You do not?
No, I don't care for her.
You don't like her comedy? You don't like her acting?
Her
you don't
whining.
Like her what?
Her whining.
Her whining.
Complaining. She's so extra. I can't.
She can be extra. She can
and
be
that
extra.
overshadows her talent for me anyway.
So do you think that Monique is talented?
A little. I mean, I've seen her be funny. And I'm not on a scale of 1 to 5. I give her a 3 in my book.
All right. So we're going to talk about Monique. We're going to talk about Oprah. We're going to talk about Monique's family and all that after this. So we want people to subscribe to Radio on Fire Premium. With your help, Radio on Fire delivers independent news stories and original programming geared to the new urban America. That's the digital urban America. Now, when you subscribe to Radio on Fire Premium, you're helping a rising voice in urban America, and it's because of you that we are one of the fastest growing urban community commentary vehicles out there. So definitely radioonfire.com/join is where you go. So Monique has been talking about just all kind of stuff as it relates to Oprah. And it's just been like an ongoing thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like an ongoing thing. It like never stops.
I agree.
It never stops. So what you have pulled up is what as it relates to this story?
Oprah's response.
Okay, so when you first, so let's go back to Precious because we need to go back in time. Mm-hmm. You know, back in time. When you think about the movie Precious, did you see the movie?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the movie? Or did you like the performance?
Yes, it was a hard movie to watch. So that's when you say that I like the movie. I don't. I mean, it was a hard movie to watch, but I think it was good. It was good. Mm-hmm. The acting in it was good, especially Monique's part. Mm-hmm. So I guess I would say yes, I liked the movie.
It was a successful movie, I think. Mm-hmm. But I think that a lot of the controversy with regards to Monique, Oprah, Monique and Tyler Perry, Monique and Lee Daniels stems back to the movie Precious. Is that fair?
Yes, definitely. That's fair.
So Monique is from Baltimore, obviously, and you know how Baltimore people can be. You know how you Baltimore folk can be.
A little bit.
So when something happens, do you think that we kind of hang on to it too much? I'm generalizing here, but Is there anything from Monique's Baltimore roots that bring on some of this stuff?
We tend to be a little aggressive and yes, and demand to be treated a certain way. Absolutely, I
think that is very, very accurate there. I think that Monique has been exhibiting some stuff like that,
right?
And she wants to be treated a certain way. Not that there's anything wrong with that,
right? No,
not that there's anything wrong with that. But it's clear that she's had a problem with Oprah Winfrey for quite some time. Now, she has not been happy with what she calls her treatment. Mm-hmm. And she says that she was blackballed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the term blackballed, and we've talked about this before, but the term blackballed comes from people putting the word out of how someone is and their experience with that person dictating less opportunities for that person. Other people telling their experience, whether it's true or not, their experience with said individual, and that affecting other people's view and whether they want to deal with the person or not.
Okay.
Anything in Monique's attitude have you seen that maybe could make you say, I can understand why people may not want to work with her? Or is she just getting a bad break?
No, I've heard out of her own mouth in interviews some of the comments that she has made pertaining to people, towards people. And the issue is, and as you and I have stated previously, she doesn't own any of it.
Right.
So yes, I don't think she gets a bad rap. That I agree with everything those people say about her.
Yeah,
I've heard it for myself.
All right, so Oprah has an air about her that is she's above the fracas. You know what I mean? She you know what I mean? Michelle Obama above the fracas. Like somebody got a problem with her, she's going to soar above it. You know what I mean? And Oprah strikes me as the same type of individual, right?
Absolutely.
And so this interview, there's a clip that I want to play of Monique, and then I want to come back and talk about it. But I'm gonna hop in and out of this. So this is Monique talking about Oprah, her brother, and a number of things.
Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Now I gotta stop her right there. So she said that people are beginning to see Oprah for who she is, and what she called so-called negative comments. Monique told Oprah to suck her dick. Okay,
see, that's
the negative comment she's talking about. That is a negative comment.
Absolutely.
And it's a lie, because Monique don't even have a dick, right? So then she's inviting her to do something that she technically cannot do, right? Like she's talking about a dick that's in a box, a bag, a case. But I think that Gail probably took offense to this. Stedman probably took offense to this. These are all people in Oprah's lives who, if Oprah wanted to suck something, she would get it from Gail or from Stedman, not from Monique.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? She wouldn't get it from Monique. Does Monique look like she has a dick that anybody would want? No.
Where Oprah Winfrey and I have a problem is Oprah Winfrey called us up and...
Stop her for a second. When she says us, she's talking about her
and her husband.
Right. Oprah Winfrey didn't call her husband. She called Monique. But let's continue.
She said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer. So my mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first. When I hung up that phone, brother, I looked at my husband. I said, that bitch is all right with me. That's a real...
She kept it
because she didn't have to call me up. She didn't have to say my brother was coming. She could have just ran with shit and let it happen. I dig her for that.
All right, let me stop right there.
Now I begin to see commercials.
Let's stop her right there. So Monique says that Oprah reached out because they have a previous relationship. Mm-hmm. Somebody she could reach out to.
Right.
And she wanted to get clarification. Is it okay to have your brother on here. Now, let's keep in mind this. So many issues I have with Monique about this, but Monique is the person who revealed that her brother had molested her when she was 7 or 8 years old and he was 13. Monique revealed that. She said that that's where the motivation came from, the dark place that she had to go to do the Precious character, the mother, the mother of Precious. It was dark. It was ugly. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what won her the award. And in subsequent interviews, she revealed that she got to that place because she revisited the molestation that she went through from her brother. Nobody knew about that. She revealed that. Okay, so the way she tells the story, it almost makes it seem like, you know, she was digging in, or you know, she caused the brother to come to light with this information. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We wouldn't have known nothing about this if Monique didn't reveal it. She could have said, I went to stuff in my childhood, or, you know what I mean? She didn't have to say it, but she said it. So now the brother, in Monique's opinion and in my opinion, the brother's coming out, and since you've revealed the brother to be this, now he wants to speak his piece. And he wants to talk about how he's changed and he's holier than thou or something like that, right?
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. And maybe he reached out to Oprah, and Oprah's doing her due diligence. I think that was good on her part that she did that. She didn't have to do that. She could have just ran with it, right?
Right.
So thus far, do you have any problems with Oprah, with anything that Oprah did thus far in Monique's version of this story?
No, not thus far.
Me either. Okay. So it continues.
With my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother. Now, the reason why that means so much is because in the conversation we had about my brother, we then went deeper. And we began to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother, as she shared hers with me, which I will never repeat because she shared it with me about her mother and father. It might be something she shared with everybody, but wanted to make me feel special. I don't know.
Now let's pause that right there. That's a classic Monique trick. Okay. So in every one of Monique's stories, she is perfect.
Yep. You're right.
Everybody else is wrong.
Yep.
And so she wants everyone to side with her. She needs acceptance constantly, over and over and over again. Every story that Monique has ever told, you always notice she never does anything wrong. She's always perfect. Perfecto. See? Perfecto. Every scenario, right?
You're right.
No. She is loco. Crazy. All right? Because every scenario, she's the victim. Every time. Monique doesn't speak to her mother, father, brother, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Will Packer. She don't speak to nobody, okay? Everybody's wrong. You know when they tell you a story, you know, when everybody's wrong, that you have to look
at the
inwardly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe the problem's not everybody else. The problem is you in every story. So the mother and father are greedy. The brother was her manager. Now he's not. Now your husband's your manager, right? 5 years from now, he probably ain't gonna be her manager. He's gonna be something gonna be wrong with him too, and it's gonna be all Oprah's. It's gonna be all his fault. No fault of Monique ever, right?
Right.
They both shared, right? And then everybody knows that Monique, that Oprah had a rough childhood. Everybody knows. Oprah's talked about that.
Right.
Oprah's talked about being raped herself.
Right.
I don't watch Oprah's show like that, and I know that.
Right.
Because she's been talking about this 25, 30 years. You know what I mean? The Color Purple, and I think that a lot of that stuff around that time, she talked about her own stuff.
Yes.
So Monique is trying to paint this picture like she shared, and I'm not going to violate. And shit. We already know. She already told us.
Yeah.
Everybody. She told everybody. But Monique continues to paint this picture. She did it with Netflix. She did everything. It doesn't matter what it is. She is this perfect person. She is walking in the world, and people just do stuff to her.
Yeah. According to her.
But it continues.
Nonetheless, it was in our moment. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her, I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm going to have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down. That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate, because of my mother and father's greed. So if you had given me the opportunity, I would have said, I can't put my mother, that's still my mother.
Right.
Okay? Now here comes the show. And here comes the commercials. And now I'm starting to see my mother and my father and my other brother, who was my manager. We didn't discuss that, Oprah.
Wait, he was your manager and he went to Oprah?
Wasn't my manager at the time.
Okay.
By now I had already, fired him.
So, you have issues with any of this thus far? So you have some issues. So now I still don't have issues with anything Oprah did thus far, because this is Monique's timeline, and we don't know the amount of time that transpired between the original conversation between Monique and Oprah and them doing commercials. We don't know how much time had passed. And I think another key thing why that's important is that, let's say that Monique and Oprah had the conversation, and 4 or 5 months later, these commercials come out, right? When she had the conversation with Monique, she didn't know, she hadn't dug into the story. She didn't know what the story was going to be, anything like that. The story wasn't already done. Because she's asking her, is it okay to do the story? Do you want to be involved with the story? It wasn't shot yet. So she didn't know mother's involved. I'm talking about Oprah. Mother's going to be involved. Father's going to be involved. That's why she didn't reveal it, because I think if she took the time to let her know, your brother's going to come over here and talk about molestation, if the whole family was involved at that point, she would have said it. She didn't have to make the call at all. The mother and father greed is one thing, but the molestation is worse. She went to the worst possible thing. You know what I'm saying? So as the story goes on, so the producers put the story together. Oprah doesn't put the story together. Producers and writers put this together, and Oprah's involved, but she's doing she's in and out of other things. So when the story comes together and Oprah, they start having the commercials, they've already filmed it at that point. Now they're teasing it before they bring it out. At that point, she'd already mentioned it to her. And as the story goes on, we're going to be talking about his molestation, okay? And of course, they're going to talk to other people or whatever. So she doesn't have to keep going back to Monique and say, okay, we're putting the story together. We got this. We're putting the story together. We got this. Monique already said, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't speak to none of the people involved. So they're doing the story. And later on, in Oprah's mind, because this is how I would have thought about it, later on, maybe we'll have Monique to do her own rebuttal of all this stuff down the line. But she don't deal with none of these people. She doesn't want to be involved in this. So I'm going to tell the story as best as I can. You have a problem with this. Why?
Well, I don't side with Monique often. However, yes, if you came and if you called me and you asked me about my brother and if it was okay if I interviewed my brother, awesome. That's great. I'm not saying you have to make a whole spectacle when other people in my family are involved, but at least, yes, please give me a heads up. Because now, hey Monique, you know what? It was originally just your brother, but it has evolved into a whole nother thing, and your other family members are involved. I can't stop it at this point, but I would just like for you to know and give you a heads up that this is what's going to happen. That's all I'm saying.
If they're brother and sister, how can the family ever not be involved?
What do you mean? How can they ever not?
They're brother and sister. They got the same mother and father.
You can talk. You don't have to actually have them on the show to talk about it. I mean, we've seen many specials and interviews where they may have a statement from these people,
but that's if they couldn't get the people. That's if they couldn't get the people. But these people wanted to participate.
Of course, it could. I would feel some type of way if I was Monique too. I would. I'm just saying, I would. You needed to tell me you called. Why'd you ask me about even having my brother on here? Then if you're not gonna come and tell me about the whole story, like, we're supposed to be cool. In my head, if I'm cool with somebody, if I have to make 1,000 phone calls to let them know and give them a heads up, that's not a problem for me to do. I don't want you to be blindsided We're cool. I want you to know that this is getting ready to happen.
She already made the
No,
call.
you talk about my brother. You didn't talk about these other people. You should have let me know. That's all. I would have.
But what did you think? Well, why wouldn't Monique say, okay, he's involved? What else? Is somebody else involved? Are you talking to anybody else? Like, what is the context of this story? Maybe she should have been involved then, because had she had involvement, then she would have known. But because she wants to be Monique and be extra, that's why she didn't know. She should have asked more questions.
Well, how do we know that she didn't? Oprah, because Oprah's not talking about it, we don't know what questions she asked and what questions she didn't ask. What if she did? What if she did ask those questions and she was? But she could have said, at this point. She could, I don't know how she phrased it, but she could have said, at this point, all we're looking to talk to is your brother. And she may have said, okay, well, that's fine. We don't know what the conversation was. That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
All right, so let's get to the end of this clip.
So I'm watching this show, and I'm watching my father sit there, who was a strong alcoholic. I'm watching him drunk. I'm watching my mother be greedy. I'm watching my other brother, who was my manager, be greedy. I know my family. And I'm watching my brother who molested me sit on this stage trying to paint this picture of I'm trying to be a help, but now I'm watching the scam. As much as they keep talking, I'm seeing the scam take place.
What scam are we talking about? The Monique scam? The Monique, I have not had a job, I'm trying to get a job scam that's going on? Is that the scam? What scam is the family doing? Her mother and father feeling like any other mother and father of a successful entertainer, feeling like if it wasn't for me, none of this would be taking place because we gave birth to you. I think that's a typical parent thing. The fact that she doesn't feel the need to take care of her parents, or they want more than what she's willing to provide them, something, whatever their disagreement is. The fact that she calls her mother greedy, calls her father an alcoholic, that doesn't strike you as being a person, like, that's not wrong?
What I didn't see the interview. It depends on what my parents got up there and said about me. Now, they could have said negative things about her during that interview.
I'm sure they did.
Right. So I'm not going to sit here and just be like, well, okay, that's my parents. And if that's what they said. No, if they said some negative things about me, I'm going to speak my truth about what I think my truth is about them. However, what I do disagree with is the fact that now you allow, like she said, this is my family and I know them. So you agree,
and they know her,
right? You agreed to have your brother on. So you just said that you know your brother. So now you're talking about how this is a scam that's set up. You knew that was going to happen because you claim you know your brother and you know your family.
But how's it a scam?
So,
what makes it a scam?
No, I'm not saying that she was correcting that.
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying
she said
is she sounded so surprised. You know your family, but now you're surprised that he got on.
But this is my thing. You know your family, and they know you. And if this is your mother, if your mother's a scam, if your mother's greedy, your father's greedy, your brother's greedy, and your other brother's greedy, then what the fuck does that make her?
That don't make her.
She got to at least have some greed in her blood.
No.
She got to be half greed. If
both
both sources of your life are greedy, you don't have the tendency to be greedy. You got to work harder not to be greedy. No,
that's a characteristic. That's not something that's hereditary. What is wrong with you?
It hit everybody in the household. It must be in the water.
Oh my gosh!
Hit everybody in the household, but missed her.
Greed is not hereditary.
Yeah, well,
that's a characteristic.
Greed, but here's my thing. Monique's assessment of greed does not necessarily mean that that's what it was.
That's true.
That's Monique's assessment of greed.
That's true.
And so she got a lot going on, and so another 30 seconds of this, Monique.
Well, when it was all said and done, Oprah Winfrey calls me, and in that moment, I was still stuck in this is Oprah Winfrey. How do I say
having respect?
You had my mother, my father, my other brother, and I'm stuck in that moment. And when we hung up that phone, my husband looked at me and said, "What's wrong with you? It's not what we made of. You know how you felt about that and how you feel about that." And you need to let that woman know, I don't care about a title and a position. That's not what you cut from. So it was my obligation to let Oprah Winfrey know how I really felt.
All right. So, I understand why she might be upset to a degree. Because she's really upset that her parents and brothers were on a major platform and they threw her under the bus and she did not have the opportunity on a major platform to do the same thing. That's what she's really mad about. Okay. But with Monique and her stories, we always hear about what other people did to her. She's always the victim. Where's the part about what you did, Monique? Tell us that part. She never gets to the part where she was wrong in the story. That part never comes. That part never comes. What am I missing here?
Well, why she doesn't? Well, you said it earlier. She always wants to play the victim. She's never accountable for anything, because then she has to justify her actions if she holds herself accountable, and then she may come out looking crazy. So she's not going to do that. That she's not going to do.
Yeah, I just I don't understand it. So here's what she said. So Monique said this during that interview. She said, "I want you to understand something. See, this is why me and Oprah Winfrey got a problem. Until that woman says, 'Let me apologize to you publicly,' it'll be till the day that I leave this earth, because what you did was malicious." So she feels that Oprah Winfrey owes her a public apology, and Oprah was malicious. So, what do you think that anything in the story that Monique laid out was malicious?
No, I mean, malicious is a bit much.
Is that extreme?
That's extreme. I don't think it was malicious, and I really honestly don't think it was Oprah's intention to shock her with that or mislead her about what the story was going to be about. I just think that was the what do you call it? The nature of events that happened to occur. I don't think that she did this intentionally. My question is, so when did this Oprah show happen?
2010 is when it happened.
And what year is it?
But that goes back to what I was saying about greed. When you were talking about greed, and I said that she called everybody in her family greedy, that means that she had to have some greed in herself. And if we're talking about something that happened in a few months, almost 10 years ago, and you're speaking about it now, you thought it just happened.
I really did.
Because why
was
is it
like,
coming
oh
up
my
now?
gosh,
But
yes,
that
why are we still
that
talking
goes
about
back
this?
to the greed and desperation of Monique. I got to go to something 10 years ago and tell you. And then you're going to sit and have a grudge for 10 years. I have people, well, one person that I'm not speaking to now over some stuff that happened around 10 years ago, right? I've made attempts to reach out, and he wants to hold on to a grudge. If you hold on to a grudge for 10 years, the problem is not me. That's problem true. Is you.
You're right.
And Oprah is not holding on to no grudge. Mm-mm. The problem is not Oprah. The problem is Monique. Yeah. Now, you have a quote from Oprah?
Yes.
Yeah. Read us the quote from Oprah about Sister Monique.
Okay. You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. You have to be the light. It only takes a little bit of light to banish the darkness. It takes a lot of darkness to overcome the light. It takes just a little bit of light, and we are warriors of the light. I would never stoop to try to meet somebody where they are negatively. Don't care who they are. So that's what Oprah had to say about all of this back in 2010.
Right. So you have a problem with that statement?
No, absolutely not. She's like, I don't have
It's a
time
mature
for this.
statement.
Yeah, I don't have time for this nonsense, and drop the mic.
Yeah. So this is Monique. Monique said, I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call is negative comments. What people are beginning to do is see you for who you are. So,
can we go back to establish why she's talking about this now? Did we? I mean,
why is she talking about this now?
I mean, the video was
the interviewer probably asked her something like, "What is the issue with Oprah?" or "Where do you and Oprah stand?"
Like,
something.
what show was this? Like, what is it? Was it?
This was an interview. This was just
a
interview.
random interview.
Just a random interview with Comedy Hype.
Okay.
Yeah. So because she's doing random interviews because she ain't got shit going on.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
This is an attempt to get in the spotlight. Like she did the interview with Steve Harvey, and she brought up great points with Steve Harvey, and I agree with a lot of stuff that she said in regards to her conversation with Steve Harvey. But Steve Harvey, referencing this, was saying he was trying to fix it and try to get, because you don't want to see. I hate to see black women playing the angry black woman role. And Monique, to me, is doing the angry black woman thing, right?
She's textbook angry black woman.
Textbook,
She
absolutely.
is always that victim.
And I don't want her to do that. Like, and Steve Harvey, for all the things that I like about Steve Harvey and all the things I don't like about Steve Harvey, he was right in wanting to mend this. Because this looks bad in the public sphere of seeing two successful black women having this type of, discourse, and one of them playing. Actually, everybody else plays the high road. Tyler Perry, Will Packer, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey. All of them play the high road. And when Monique says she's blackballed, it makes her her attitude makes her look. They're not saying nothing negative about her. She's having the argument herself with herself.
They're not talking about her at all. Like they're over it. It's done.
And how is that? They don't control. They don't run the market. If Oprah and Lee Daniels and Will Packer and Tyler Perry, if they're all wrong about her, why isn't Monique able to get a job with somebody else? They're four people. They don't run Hollywood.
You're right.
They may have a big chunk of black Hollywood, but they don't run Hollywood. There's plenty of other people that work that are black that don't go through them.
Yeah, but she says, I mean, that's also what blackball means. Like, now that these four people have discredited me, I'm on a list somewhere, and now all the other people discredit me based on what they're saying. So blackball, that goes along with the whole blackball.
Yeah, but they might be blackballed with those four, but I'm saying that there have been plenty of people in Hollywood that don't mess with other people, and they're still able to work with other people. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. But
So-
is it four of like the big hitters? And she alienated like some heavy hitters, okay, and not just one, like a cluster. Who does that? I'm not trying to make them angry. Those four people, I'm not trying to make them angry. So I'm not gonna deal with Monique because I'm not trying to get on the list.
So let's do this. So let's go to Overbrook Entertainment. Overbrook Entertainment is Will Smith.
Okay.
And Jade. Jade is from Baltimore.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Monique's from Baltimore.
Absolutely.
If Monique wasn't really a problem, why can't you go to Overbrook? Y'all got some shit popping?
Because Will and Jada are friends with the four people. Are you kidding me? They cool with the people who she alienated already. And if I'm Will and Jada, I'm riding with them. I'm sorry, Monique. I'm riding with them. Monique, really? Am I going to alienate them to do business with Monique? It's not worth it. That's the blackball aspect. It is not worth it. I'm good on all of that. I'm trusting. These four people just aren't some random four people that I'm not going to trust. That goes along with I'm trusting and believing that these people who I trust their opinion, I respect them, and I value their opinion, they're saying this about this person, then I believe it. You know what I mean?
But it's not even... Okay, the only thing that was said about her was that she was difficult to work with.
That's a lie.
But it was said 10 years ago.
It doesn't matter. If she's difficult now, and not only that,
but here's my thing. She is difficult. But here's the thing. The stuff, she wasn't blackballed. The truth was exposed. Okay. There's a difference between blackball hints to a lie or a framing of circumstances for a certain outcome.
Right.
The truth is not a blackball.
That's true.
The truth is the truth.
That's correct.
And what about her interactions with Netflix? That's a white company. They don't give a fuck about Oprah, Lee Daniels, none of them. Right? They're a separate entity. That's what I'm saying. They're their own entity. You have other entities that she can deal with that are completely void of the trifecta or four person situation, right? You have Hulu, you got a number of places like that, in addition to networks, in addition to other people in Hollywood, right? Because Monique is such a great actress, right?
So you don't think they've heard about?
Of course they've heard.
Oh, okay.
But if she was so that goes back to something that I said initially months ago, probably last year. She needs to do her own projects, her own thing then. Right. So if and then you can't do business with these people. So now start producing your own stuff. Really build up her own worth more, because when she goes back to what she's done, it's all stuff she did with those people.
Right.
Because nothing else exists. She ain't did nothing else other than with those people. So then do your own thing then.
You
Monique.
know how much work that would take. Some
Oh, yeah,
people aren't willing to.
She ain't doing shit else. You know, her baby father, her husband, what the fuck is they doing? They managing this lucrative Monique career, which in hints is talking about shit from 10 years ago. That's what they doing. That's their way out.
Well, that comes to the next thing. What if she can't afford to do that? I mean, you need money to do those things.
Then shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Because you've been on a job before where you don't like the boss, right?
Never lie.
It happened, right?
Lord, yes.
And you may want to tell the boss, go fuck yourself.
That's true.
But
you don't.
Realistically, you can't do it right now.
Right.
You need to save up, find another job, get your ducks in the order. Right. You don't just go out to the press and say, boss, suck my dick. And I'm not saying that Oprah is her boss, but I'm just saying,
right?
They have a working relationship. Mm-hmm. You don't tell these people that's going to sign potentially your next few checks, suck my dick. Not right now,
right?
So use some strategy here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Monique's opinion of herself is so high that she thinks I can say what I want and do what I want because
some people can,
and they're gonna deal with it because it's me. It's Monique. I'm wonderful. I'm marvelous. They need me.
Who's me. They?
The industry. Tyler Perry, Oprah, Lee Daniels, all those people. Well, not Lee Daniels, but
yeah, but I got you.
You know, yeah, they need me. So they're gonna tolerate whatever I dish out because they need me.
Yeah.
And she was sadly mistaken.
She was.
No,
and
calm down, sis. Calm down.
Yeah. So I don't know how this is gonna end for her. Or continue, but I think that whatever happens, she needs to start doing new projects, working with other people. Otherwise, you give too much credence and you build. She does. It's twofold what she's doing, and I don't think she understands the results. Her selling this, I got blackballed by these 4 people, also has the effect of making these people bigger than they are. Giving other people, if they have legitimate issues with these people, they may feel like, oh my God, I can't say nothing. Look what they did to Monique. They didn't do this to Monique. Monique did this to Monique. Because if Monique's interviews had been, public opinion is Monique is difficult. You can see it in her interviews. When they talk to other people that worked with Monique, they ain't the only people that say Monique was difficult.
That's true.
People that worked on the Monique show, when she filmed in Atlanta, they said she was difficult. It's not only, and it's other people, not just the higher ups like these executive producers, but that regular everyday people
behind the scenes. They say it's difficult. You're right.
Yes. Okay. Right. Now, all the interactions that I've had with Monique have been fine, but this was before she was the star that she is now. You know what I mean? She was still. I mean, when she had the comedy club downtown, she was a star in the town. You know what I mean? And she had a certain swag about her, but she wasn't the big Hollywood star that she is now.
Right.
But I'm saying, I never personally had any problems with her, but I could understand how people can misread her, and then her actions and her words can help them formulate these opinions of her.
Right.
I want to see her get this whole thing right and for her to move forward and shine bright. I do. But in order for that to happen, you have to do some self-reflection. Mm-hmm. And if her interviews gave off the impression to the public that, dang, they got her wrong. She ain't hard to deal with. It's just, but she comes off as very combative.
Yeah.
And not reasonable. Mm-hmm. So I hope it works out right. But I personally think that the husband doesn't provide her with the proper balance. You know what I mean? Because your significant other can give you. I think he put a battery in her back and winds her up even more.
Yeah, that's what it seems like he's the yes man. He's a yes man. Whatever you say, honey. That's right, honey. Get him, honey. You let them do that to you, honey? Don't. Oh no, you got to get them. Don't let them treat you like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So this Monique story is going to continue. We'll see where it goes. But definitely, so we encourage people to support Radio on Fire with contribution of any size. Readers and viewers from around the world like you, or listeners like you, make Radio on Fire's work possible, and we need everyone's support to deliver news, entertainment, quality journalism, and keep it open for everybody. So radioonfire.com/join. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Of course, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And I'll be back tomorrow.